This is Chuck W30N, operating as W30C, net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. here on the Two Rivers ARC repeater system, operating on 147.12 megahertz. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Green Oak, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet's World Wide Web at TRARC.org. And also on Facebook. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month, except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. It's up on the big hill up there above Elizabeth. We're open this net for check-ins or emergency or priority traffic at this time. And anyone I have listed of silent keys in the radio amateurs who recently passed away. I haven't heard of anything lately. All right, thank you. Okay, we'll be taking some check-ins here in a moment. Please, when you check into this net, give your call sign slowly and phonetically. May spell out your call sign, and let me know if you have any announcements or comments for the net. I'm going to take a quick standby here. Anybody on Echolink, we're going to give you a couple extra seconds to get keyed up. Anybody on Echolink for the Two Rivers net?
This is Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff and Irwin. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, everyone. No traffic for the net.
I got Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu India X-Ray on Echolink. Anybody else on Echolink? All right, okay. All right, now I'm going to take some regular check-ins on the repeater or Echolink too if somebody checks in. Right now I'm looking for members of the board of directors wishing to check in. Call now.
W30C. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo. Portable. And I've got Kilo Bravo 3, Whiskey Papa, and Whiskey 3, Delta Tango Papa. Good evening, everyone on the net. How's that? Net control. Control, recognize Kilo 3, Charlie, Romeo, Oscar. John, Baldwin, no comments, no traffic.
Okay, thank you. From the board of directors, I got November 3, Juliet Hotel Bravo Papa. And he has on his sidecar with him, he has Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. With him, and also Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. Anybody else from the board of directors wishing to check in? Unheard. All right, okay, now we'll open it up for stations operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W30C. Alpha 3 Mike Radio, AA3MR, name is Walt. Portable, Clerton Works, PA. Good evening to you, Chuck. Everybody on the net, no comments. W30C. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Bill, Hancock County, West Virginia. Good evening, sir. W3OC. W3OC, please copy Kilo Alpha 3, Yankee Golf Lima. Bruce in Fayette County. Good evening to Chuck and everybody on the net. No further comments.
There's Kilo Bravo 3, Delta Victor Delta, Adolph from Irwin, Westmoreland County. Good evening, Chuck. Everybody on the net. No further comments.
W3OC, here's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan, Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize November 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio, Corporal, here in Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone else. No traffic.
WC, please recognize November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform, that's N3TAU, Norman Penn, Portable, Westmoreland County.
W3OC, this is KA3, KGV, Portable, Denny and Plum, no traffic.
Okay, everybody stand by a second. Here's what I got so far. Alpha 3 Mike Radio Portable, Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, excuse me, Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Victor Delta, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, and November 3 Alpha Charlie Hotel Portable, November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform Portable, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor Portable. Anybody else, mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. One of you three got that right.
Got it right. Just check in, either mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County. All right, thank you all. We're going to pick up general check-in if people are off at base stations or something like that. Wish to check in, call now.
W3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3, India Oscar Uniform, Gino.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Whiskey 3, Sierra Hotel Fox, Steve and Pitt Kern up on the windy hill here. Good evening, Chuck, and everybody on the net.
W3OC. Here is Kilo 3 Hotel, India Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township.
W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim and Carnegie.
It's W3OC. I got Whiskey America 380 Oscar Uniform, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, excuse me, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time to check us this evening. I got a bunch of announcements and stuff to raise. Plus, we have Newsline that will be keyed up and ready to play here shortly. And let's see. One item I wanted to bring up just briefly before I get into the general announcements. Just remember, there is a special election going on tomorrow for the 38th and 35th districts for, I think, a replacement for one of the representatives who passed away. So you might want to check into that if you're eligible to vote for that. I know some of us live in the Keysport area or in this area, so we're eligible for voting for that tomorrow. And okay, so that polls open at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Okay. Two Rivers activities. We have a bunch of activities we have during the course of the year, monthly. We have 3 other radio nets beside this one. They meet on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. on this repeater system. That's the Gap Net. We call it the Gap Net. That's usually hosted by Steve, W3 Sugar Hotel Fox. Thursday nights we have the 10-meter net. Frequency 28460, starts at 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock. And on Friday nights, 40-meter net scheduled to run on the 40-meter band around 6 o'clock in the evening, somewhere around 7215 kilohertz. It's usually hosted by Mitch, W3 Oscar India Echo. So we have those kind of nets going on. Of course, we have operations night, where it's a social gathering, and it's also an operations night. We get on the radio and operate from the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall. Starts at 7 o'clock, runs for a couple of hours, and you don't have to be a licensed ham to come up here and operate, because we can always buddy up with a regular licensed ham to get the experience of operating radio equipment. And also we occasionally have technical discussions a little bit too. So that's on the second Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. up at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, 4312 Liberty Way in Elizabeth, PA. Then on the second Saturday of each month, we have another social gathering for club members or families. Anybody else wishing to join us? That's on Saturday, the second Saturday, at a local restaurant. Currently, we're using the Rock Run Inn at the Butler's Golf Course in Elizabeth, PA. Let's see. We also have the Two Rivers Club Ham Fest. It's coming up. Where's that list at? I got the flyer. 1 second. Okay, well, the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club Ham Fest is coming up on Sunday, April the 6th, at the I couldn't find it. Okay, Sunday, April 6th at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, number 184, that's what they call it. And their social hall, 4312 Liberty Way, Elizabeth, PA, zip code 15047. Those are going to need travel directions. You can find that here on the club repeater, 14712. It does take a PL tone of 131.8 hertz for access. Of course, we'll have a mobile prize will be awarded. Must be present to win for that. There's a bunch of prizes listed already on the flyer, and as of the club meeting last week, there were some other ones that have been added, I know. Let's see, main prizes so far is the Zizu G90 HF 20-watt transceiver plus battery or cash, a Yaesu FTM 500D, 2 meter 70 centimeter. That's a digital and FM transceiver or cash, a Yaesu FT70DR dual band digital handheld or cash, a portable generator. And I believe I heard them announce that we're going to have a 3D printer be one of the main prizes, plus other things that haven't been announced yet. And of course, we'll have door prizes too during the course of the day. And I understand they're going to be having raffles for what people call black box prizes, but they're not really black box prizes. So we'll have that kind of stuff. If anybody wants to, the Ham Fest is an indoor-outdoor this year, so we have table space inside. You can still sign up for tables as an exhibitor. You need to contact one of the coordinators by phone or email. Email address is hamfest@trarc.org, hamfest@trarc.org. Or you can try contacting the coordinators, 412-951-1332, 412-951-1332, or 412-260-5699, 412-260-5699. They're also going to have amateur radio testing available. If you want to sign up for that, they'll be doing some walk-ins. I don't know how many, but it's going to depend on availability. If you wish to sign up for that, 412-751-9657. We might leave a message over there if there's no answer. 412-751-9657. And we're going to have food available, of course, at the all sanctioned Ham Fest. A lot of this flyer stuff is on our website, TRARC.org. TRARC.org. And of course, we're having tailgating areas for outdoors. And of course, that'll be depending on availability, first come, first serve kind of thing. There's a brief charge for that, I think. It says bring your own table is what it says here. So it's the first time we've done it. It's a pretty good sized parking lot up there, so should be able to handle that. And that's coming up on Sunday, April the 6th. Club activity coming up. It starts on April the 17th, again at Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, Social Hall. We're going to run amateur radio technician level license exam preparation classes. They're going to run every Thursday evening starting April 17th for 6 weeks, followed by a final exam session at 7 p.m. on Thursday, May 29th. There's no cost for that, but they're asking people to sign up for that so they can figure out how many books they need to order. You can register by email to training@trarc.org, training@trarc.org, or by email or by phone 724-518-5251, 724-518-5251. Registration will close at 11:59 p.m. on April the 6th. That's after the Hemp Fest. On April the 17th. Okay, let me get this thing over here. Other activities that I know of that are going on in the area. North Hills Amateur Radio Club is having a raffle. I think it's already started. They sell these raffle tickets during the course of the year. There's not a whole lot of them. I think there's 250 tickets. The prizes include a Kenwood THD 75A, a Diamond SRH 320A with an antenna, and a Kenwood Rapid Charger. And those who are interested in that should contact the North Hills Amateur Radio Club. Attention, Kenwood THD 75A Tri-Band HD Raffle. P.O. Box 15333, P.O. Box 15333, Pittsburgh, PA 15237. So it's North of Amateur Radio Club, P.O. Box 15333, Pittsburgh, PA 15237. They're also usually at some of the local Ham Fest where you can. They usually have a presence there, so you can get tickets then. Coming up on Saturday, March the 8th. March the 29th. That would be this Saturday. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. the Greensburg, Pennsylvania Hamfest, sponsored by the Westmoreland Emergency Amateur Radio Service. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Greensburg Masonic Center, 349 Donahue Road in Greensburg, PA. That's the Greensburg Masonic Center, 349 Donahue Road, Greensburg, PA. Talking will be on the 147.18 repeater. It takes a PL tone of 131.8 hertz for access to that. They have information on their website, www.whiskeycharlie3papasugar.org, www.wc3ps.org. They got their prizes listed: Exugu G90 HF21 SDR transceiver, Radio Didity DB25 Mini DMR mobile radio, Yaesu FT70DR Fusion handheld, a dual band handheld transceiver. They're going to have food and stuff like that available too. Let's see, the contact people for that is November 3 Bravo Alpha Hotel, 412-357-0076, 412-357-0076, or Sam, 724-689-2096. 724-689-2096. You can also email to WC3PS, Whiskey Charlie 3 Papa Sugar, at Comcast.net. So that's coming up this Saturday on the 29th, 8 a.m. to Greensburg Masonic Center, over there in Greensburg. Looking at the other items on my thing here, April the 5th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club 69th Ham Fest at the Amidio and Sons Expo Center, 488 East Bath Road at the corner of State Road it's called, Cuyahoga Falls, PA 44223. They're going to have DXCZ, BAU, CC, WAS, and QSL card checking. Free license exams start at 8:30 a.m. They're having major vendors. Let's see. Check-in will be on there at W8 Victor Papa Victor repeater, frequency 147.270. Takes a PL tone of 110.9 hertz for access. More information is on their website, www.CharlieFoxtrotAlphaRadioCharlie-Hamfest.org, www.cfarc-hamfest.org. Okay, looking a little bit further into April, the Pittsburgh Antique Radio Society is having their Tri-State Radio Fest on Sunday, April the 27th. April the 27th. Look at their flyer here. Its location is the Center Stage Banquet Hall, 1495 Old Broadhead Road, P-R-O-D-H-E-A-D, Monaca, PA. It's also the thing is located in the Century Square Shopping Mall. They've been having that thing for a long time. If you're interested in vintage radios and equipment like that, they have a flea market, and I know I've been to it in the past, and they have displays of old antique radios and things like that. Then they have an auction. It starts in the morning. If you're interested in any of that stuff, it starts at 11:30 a.m. That's on Sunday, April the 27th. Okay, I think that's all I've got as far as local stuff. I don't think I've missed anything, but it could be. We're quite a dynamic activities here in the Pittsburgh area at different times. Okay. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. This time I'm going to take a standby. Anybody who repeats for anything that they've heard so far, it's W3OC. Alrighty, alright. Well, let's see what Newsline's got tonight. I know the radio bands have been still pretty hot, although I think we had a solar event sometime late last week or over the weekend that kind of messed things up a little bit, but I think that's pretty well cleared. I know at our last operations night, I was fortunate enough to be able to see the surface of the sun with a telescope, and was quite amazed at the amount of sunspots that are currently up there. I guess everybody understands the HF bands are affected quite a lot by the amount of sunspots that appear on the face of the sun. Of course, those are solar eruptions. Okay, all right. Well, let me flip some switches over here, and we'll see what Newsline's got tonight. This is W3OC.
Release date of Friday, March 21st, 2025, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The Voice of America and other international news services are being dismantled. The stranded NASA astronauts are home at last, and New Zealand gets a new mobile emergency operations center for disaster response. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2473 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, here's Stephen Kenford, N8WB.
Our top story takes us to Washington, D.C., where the U.S. Agency for Global Media has been marked for defunding. Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Radio Free Asia, and Radio Marti are among the international news services that the White House says it is preparing to dismantle. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, gives us the details.
Voice of America, a shortwave service launched in 1942 during the Second World War to bring news to countries under authoritarian control, is among U.S.-based news programming for overseas audiences targeted in a deep cut by the Trump administration. According to various media reports, VOA employees have been notified that they were all being placed on administrative leave with full benefits, effective immediately. Cuts to VOA, as well as Radio Free Europe, Radio Free Asia, Radio Marti, and others are the result of reductions taking place inside the U.S. Agency for Global Media, where these programs originate. These cuts are part of the ongoing downsizing of the U.S. government. The agency operates with congressional funding to deliver news in 64 languages to listeners around the world via 6 networks, some of which were created during the Cold War. VOA's first broadcast, made in 1942, was in German and was transmitted to German listeners to counter Nazi propaganda. The Agency for Global Media's mission statement reads, quote, "To inform, engage, and connect people around the world in support of freedom and democracy," end quote. On Friday the 15th of March, Trump signed the executive order for the cuts, noting in the language of the order itself that the services earmarked for reduction had been deemed, quote, "unnecessary," end quote. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
In related news, the FCC is looking for public input on what rules, regulations, or other forms of guidance should be eliminated as part of the Commission's efforts at deregulation. A public notice has set a deadline of Friday, April 11th for initial comments. Reply comments are due by Monday, April 28th. The Commission is hoping to hear recommendations based on changes in technology and the market, cost-benefit considerations, and regulations that are a barrier to entry in the communications marketplace. All filings must reference docket number 25-133. On its website, the FCC refers to the document as the delete docket. Tuesday night, March 18th, brought a safe splashdown at long last for Suna Williams, K-85 PLB, and Butch Wilmore, the 2 NASA astronauts, left stranded on the International Space Station for 9.5 months after their Boeing Starliner spacecraft malfunctioned. They splashed down inside the SpaceX Dragon Freedom capsule off the coast of Florida along with NASA astronaut Nick Hogue, KG-5 TMV, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov. The 17-hour flight home ended a saga that began with what was supposed to have been only a short test flight aboard the Boeing Starliner in June. 2 trips are planned this year for young radio operators who are accepted into the Dave Coulter Memorial Youth DX Adventure, as we hear from Cell MB KB3TZD.
The adventure promises to be twice as big for young amateurs participating in the Dave Coulter Memorial Youth DX Adventure experience in June and July. There are 2 trips planned. The first trip takes a group of youngsters to one of the top contesting stations here in the U.S. The young hams will serve as a team operating special event station W3Y from June 13th to the 15th, hosted by the K3LR Multi Contest Station in Pennsylvania. In July, other young participants will be going to Curacao to another super contesting station to operate as PJ2Y. The program is being hosted for the 4th time by the Caribbean Contesting Consortium, PJ2T. This 4-day activation will take place from the 17th through the 22nd of July. Be on the lookout for applications for both of these trips. In the meantime, you can visit the team page to get more information. The website is youthdxa.org. That's youthdxa, all one word, .org. These adventures reflect the spirit and support given the program by Dave Coulter, KB8OCP, the Youth Adventures co-founder. Dave became a silent key in November of 2013. This is Cell MB, KB3TZD.
Members of the ham radio community in Bermuda and beyond are grieving the loss of a friend and active operator. We have details from Graham Kemp, DK4BB.
The call sign of Walter Carlington, VP9KD, could be heard often at the family home in Bermuda when his son, Scott, was growing up. Walter, who became licensed in March of 1978, became devoted early on to operating in CW, but soon added the joys of SSB to his repertoire. Walter became a silent key at home on the 11th of March. According to his son, Scott, he had been diagnosed with cancer. The retired mechanical engineer belonged to the Radio Society of Bermuda, the International Sideband Society, and the Oh Mike Amateur Radio Association, where his fist and his voice were well known on a number of the group's nets. He had also been net director for the Friendly Caribous Connection net on 2 meters. Walter was 81. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
A ham radio operator's repair work at his club's repeater has led to dismissal from his job with the county. George Zafiropoulos, KJ6VU, explains.
Repair work that a ham radio operator and fellow club members conducted on a repeater site in Washington state has cost the ham his government job. Ashotin County officials said that Russell Pelleberg, KA7MPX, was not authorized to give the other members of the Hell's Gate Amateur Radio Club access to the secure site, and that their work caused a communications outage and a power meter disturbance for other users at the site. And the local utility, Clearwater Power Company, also has facilities. According to a report in the Lewiston Tribune, Pelleberg said he had discussed the work with county commissioners and they had appeared to be supportive. He told investigators that he had even written a resolution for the county to vote on, but there were delays producing the document. The newspaper report said that he had apologized on behalf of the club for proceeding ahead of the necessary vote and that the hams meant no harm. No criminal charges were filed or recommended. Pelleberg, who has worked in government for 35 years, was terminated from his job as the county's public works director in late January. This is George Zafiropoulos, KJ6VU.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Newsline was proud last year to honor Grace Pape, K8LG of Holland, Michigan, with this special award. Do you know someone who might qualify to receive this year's honor? Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open. We're accepting nominations through May 31st. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio News Unheard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K5 DUR repeater in Rowlett, Texas, on Sundays at 7 p.m. local time. Amateur radio is showing its strength inside one division of the U.S. Navy as we hear from Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
Amateur radio has provided the inspiration for a new initiative within the Resilient Communications Program at the U.S. Naval Undersea Warfare Center Division in the state of Washington. Organizers in Keyport, Washington are working to use ham radio's reliability as a backup for its emergency communications when there are disruptions to the internet, computer function, or mobile phone services. Eric Seeley, the division's director of innovation in Keyport, said that the program embraces the technology of ham radio for this purpose and will be establishing a network of licensed hams to make use of amateur radio frequencies when the need arises. Organizers have also been encouraging nearby naval bases to join in their effort. The Keyport team is reaching beyond the military, too. Everyone needs an Elmer, so organizers have contacted local ham radio clubs as well as emergency responders to help with training the new operators to grow the network. Some members of the team have already obtained their GMRS license, or General Mobile Radio Service, but acknowledge that the next step is the FCC's technician test to become a ham. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITB.
Hams throughout the U.S. are getting on the air to mark the anniversary of a groundbreaking vaccine that gave hope in the fight against polio 7 decades ago. Jack Parker, W8ISH, tells us more.
Members of the Narwhal Amateur Radio Society are marking the 70th anniversary of the approval of the vaccine against polio, which was developed by the American physician and researcher Dr. Jonas Salk. On April 12, 1955, the U.S. government permitted the use of Salk's injectable vaccine, which contains inactive forms of the virus. There had been several epidemics at the time of polio, a paralyzing virus also known as poliomyelitis. Radio operators in a number of locations around the U.S. will be calling QRZ Salk, or Polio on the Air, from the 5th through the 19th of April. And to ensure that everyone has a chance to make contact with the special event stations, they will be operating on HF, VHF, and UHF. Operators will be using single sideband, FT4, FT8, Echolink, and All-Star. The hams will be using call signs that spell out the word polio. So listen for W7P, W7O, W7L, W7I, and W7O. Each station will be sending out individual QSL cards, so there's an opportunity to collect all 5. The Narwhal operators are also looking for volunteer operators. Anyone who wants to participate or has questions about the event should send an email to the address found in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
A new mobile operations center has just become available in New Zealand to be deployed for emergency communications when disaster strikes. We have details from Tim Meechan, CL2 BHF.
The new Mobile Emergency Operations Centre of the Manawatu District Council was years in the making. Recently unveiled to the public at a family fun day in Victoria Park, Fielding, the EOC was a concept in administrators' mind for quite some time. They recognized for a long time that a transportable EOC was essential for civil defense emergencies in a region that has a large rural population. Until now, the district urban-based EOC was all everyone had. The mobile EOC can be trailered from place to place and set up quickly, usually within half an hour. Once in place, it can accommodate as many as 40 people and shield them well from winds of up to 100 kilometers per hour or about 62 miles an hour. When discussions began years ago, Cyclone Gabrielle was on people's minds. Hawke's Bay, which is also on the North Island, suffered terribly during the 2023 storm, but mobile coordination centers responded quickly there, creating a tent city for communications and other assistance. The New Zealand Net newsletter quoted Mayor Helen Werboys, who praised the new EOC and the promise it brings in times of crisis. She said, quote, "In times of emergency, every second counts, and having a mobile, highly equipped response unit like this will make a tremendous difference in our ability to coordinate effectively and deploy resources quickly," end quote. As the newsletter editors also noted in their report, the new mobile EOC will be ideal for next year's field day operations. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
In the world of DX, members of ARI Sondrio IQ2UL will be on the air in Italy as Special Event Station II2 AUT from the 27th of March through to the 10th of April for World Autism Awareness. QSL via IK2WAD. Ishmael 8P6PE is on the air as J87PE from St. Vincent Island until the 30th of March. This is a POTA vacation for Ishmael, who can be spotted in POTA parks on 40 through 6 meters using SSB. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Heath BK3TWO will be active holiday style as 3D2TWO from Vanua Lavu, IOTA number OC016. And possibly from VT Lavu, IOTA number OC016 in Fiji until the 27th of March. He is using SSB and FT8 on 40 to 6 meters. QSL via his instructions. Gary KC9EE will be active as PJ7EE from St. Martin, IOTA number NA105 from the 26th of March through to the 6th of April. He will also participate in the CQWWWPX SSB contest. See QRZ.com or QSL details. Our last story is a sad postscript that relates to the debate of AM broadcast radio and perhaps even its relevance. The giant cumulus media has already pulled the plug on AM radio stations such as KZAC in California, WRIE in Pennsylvania, and KPUR in Texas, among many others. Now, one small independent station in New York State has decided that it too has had enough. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, has that story.
The website for New York radio station WIRY-AM screams, quote, hometown radio, playing all the hits from yesteryear to today. Now, after 75 years, however, there will be no hits played for any tomorrows. The upstate New York State broadcaster has announced it is going silent, the result of a changing audience and a changing media environment. Lawmakers in Washington, D.C. are presently debating whether a law is needed to ensure that car makers keep AM radio in vehicles sold in the U.S. But for this broadcaster, a locally owned station in the Champlain Valley, the argument is over and AM radio has lost. WIRY made its announcement earlier this month. The announcement did not specify the last day before its transmitter would go silent. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Have you sent in your amateur radio haiku to Newsline's Haiku Challenge yet? It's as easy as writing a QSL card. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format. A 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to ABC News, Associated Press, Amateur News Daily, CNN, David Coulter Memorial, Youth DX Adventure, David Behar, K7DB, Defense Visual Information Distribution Service, FCC, Lewiston Tribute, Narwhal Amateur Radio Society, NZNet.com, QRZ.com, Radio Insight, Radio World, Scott Carlington, ShortwaveRadio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, WPTV, Plattsburgh, Yahoo News, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at airnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Okay, this is W3OC Net Control for the Two Rivers Net. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission. Okay, I don't think I have too much more to report this evening. I didn't get an ARL bulletin this week for some reason. So, but I knew the VU4 Alpha X-ray de-expedition. I think it ended on the 20th. So, and based on what I read, they had quite a lot of people working them on the various bands. I know this week I have heard 6Y5 Echo India from down in Jamaica. They're a full-blown de-expedition. They're on 160 through 6 meters. I think they're on 6 also, on HF single sideband CW and digital mode. I've seen them on FT8 and FT4. So that's just one of them. There's some other ones. There's a C5 Alpha Yankee X-ray in the Gambia that's been very popular over the week. These are just some of the ones that I've seen from my location here in West Mifflin. Okay, with that, I'll take a standby for any late check-ins who wants to check in. Please call now.
Net Control. This is November 3, Juliet, Papa, Quebec,
Kurt in North Versailles. Good evening to the net.
Net control. This is Kilo Charlie 3 Sierra Uniform Lima. Paul over here in Pleasant Hills. No comment, no traffic.
Okay, I got November 3 Juliet Papa Quebec and Kilo Charlie 3 Sugar United Lima. Anybody else?
Net control. Net control, please copy KB3 KBW Mobile, Kilo Bravo 3, Kilo Bravo Whiskey, Mobile, name's Brad, on the turnpike near Monroeville. No comments, no traffic.
Okay, got Kilo Bravo 3 Kilo Bravo Whiskey Mobile. Thank you, Brad. Nice to meet you. Excuse me. Anybody else, please? All right, let's see. Counting net control, I count 21 check-ins on the check-in list this evening. Thank everybody for taking the time to check on us this evening, and hopefully we'll catch many of you at the various Hamfests that are coming up. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the Greensburg Hamfest is coming up on Saturday up there at, what's the name of that place? It's Masonic Lodge up there. And of course, Two Rivers is coming up on April the 6th. Up here at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way in Elizabeth, PA. Elizabeth, it's up in the hinterlands of above Elizabeth and the Keysport area. So hope everybody can make it out there for that. Okay, with that, we're going to turn the repeater back to General Amateur. Everybody have a good evening. This is Whiskey 3 Oscar Charlie, also known as Whiskey 30, and closing the Two Rivers. Thanks.